Hello. Welcome to this brief introduction to this social studies course on Moldova. My name is Dean Schenkel. I'm spending a year as a Fulbright scholar lecturing at the Academy of Public Administration here. As a former homeschool father, my children are both graduated from university now, I decided to share this opportunity with people from around the world by providing the information that's being put into this class. Now, you may not know too much about Moldova yet, because I certainly didn't before I decided to come here, but it has a long and interesting history. It's actually located between the Mediterranean and the Black Seas in Eastern Europe. It was, until the early 90s, part of the former Soviet Union, but its history started long before that, obviously. Over the years, because of its location and some of the things that we'll talk about, it has been overrun by Greeks, in fact, Alexander. It has been overrun by Romans, Hungarians, Mongolians, the Turks of the Ottoman Empire, Romanians, Russians, and now, once again, since 1991, it's been its own nation for one of the few times in its history. And so, as we look around, we're going to see all of these various influences, starting from about 3 BC, moving forward. Because of my role here as a Fulbright scholar, which is a United States State Department program, I'm going to have access to and the opportunities to do some things that normal tourists wouldn't be able to do. For instance, during my first week, we were invited to a formal dinner at the ambassador's residence here, the United States ambassador to Moldova. Very interesting time, got to talk to the ambassador about what was going on, and I shared some of those details and many of the pictures of the inside of the ambassador's house and the dinner with the students in the class, because I thought it was an interesting thing. I've also had the opportunity to meet with representatives of the United Nations, who I'm going to sit down and talk with more, and we're going to have some of their representatives come to my Academy of Public Administration class, which I'll also share with you folks. But of course, this isn't just a tourist log. This is a social studies class. So, for example, as part of the visual tour that I gave people of my first week teaching, including the opening ceremonies and inside of the Academy of Public Administration of the Office of the President of Moldova, which is a formal name for the school where I'm going to be teaching, we looked at some of the background of education in Moldova, how the system is different from the United States, where it's going, some of the interesting little quirks that I've learned so far. And of course, we'll be looking at that more and other issues as the year goes on. But we're going to be tying all of this interesting stuff together by using the National Council of Social Studies Curriculum Standards Guide, where they talk about 10 themes in social studies. We're going to be using those themes throughout the class. This will allow us to address such issues as the infrastructure situation here, what needs to be fixed, what's been fixed, where they're putting their priorities. We'll look at the recreational opportunities that are available here and how that fits into their individual development, their identity, how that connects them to the rest of the world. And during our trip to a local amusement park, we've seen signs of how they're already connected to the rest of the world, including this announcement in English of a teenage party where ice bowling is going to be occurring. So once again, I'd like to invite you to join us on this journey while we look at the past of the Moldovan people, seen here in a diorama of a traditional wedding. They're present, represented here by grapes, which is the backbone of their agricultural economy, which is really the backbone of their entire economy, and their future, which is here represented by their children, who I saw on a playground playing a game of what was obviously Red Rover. Moldova is an interesting and a beautiful country, and I hope you join me as I learn more about it throughout this coming school year. To learn more about how to do that, just go to the link that you see on the screen below, which is etraining.arateo.com, and then on the right side of the screen, you'll see a link to Moldova course info. Just click on that and you'll get all the information you want about the course, about the course objectives, and about the team of us that are putting it together. Although I'm over here in Moldova, my wife, who's been teaching for years, starting with our children and homeschooling them, is helping me put this together so that it's pedagogically sound. So thank you for taking the time to look at this, and I hope that you'll be joining us.